Alright everybody, I literally just got back from watching Paranormal Activity 3. And I'm going to do the bum review tomorrow, so I don't have the makeup on right now. And yeah, of course, like any sequel that I do, I have to say what I thought of the other sequels. God, I review a lot of sequels, so many of them. Anywho, the first Paranormal Activity, I thought it was okay. I respected more what it did to the audience than I did the actual film. I liked that the audience was getting scared by things that weren't really there, stuff you didn't see. I like the buildup of the tension stuff, and the only part where I thought it got really scary was the sort of the two money shots at the end, the guy towards the camera, and then the I like her smiling in the bed. Those were scary scenes. I like those. Those are effective. The rest, I've seen them before, but they're good. I was more happy that people got scared by it. Second one. Love the second one. One of the best sequels I've ever seen, in my opinion. I thought it was scary. I thought the acting was so much better. I thought it was very believable. I liked this family. I didn't like the two in the first one. Something about the acting just didn't. It always felt like they were acting. The second one, I felt like this, like I was watching a real family. So I enjoy it. And there were some forced things, but I like how well it tied into the first one. It was a true sequel. It explained more while upping the scares as well, and that's my favorite one. So now we have the third one, which in my opinion is both a step forward, like the second one took, and a step backwards to the first one. It's sort of like a perfect mix of the two, which, for me anyway, creates a movie that's, decent. There's a lot of stuff that really, really works well and a lot of stuff that doesn't. I'll first tell you the stuff that doesn't. God, these people are idiots. I am so sick of stupid people in horror films. And here's the thing. You come to expect it. You really do. It's like, okay, they're gonna be dumb in horror films. They just are. But when you get to the second one, these characters are actually pretty smart, and they start doing smart things, and the scares are a little bit more clever, and they're not as predictable, and they sort of keep you on your toes. That's why it bothered me that the people were so stupid in this one, because it really seemed like a step backwards after the second one. On top of that, the acting is about as good as the first one. Like I said, I was a huge fan of the acting in the first one, so it's okay, but you're always aware you're watching a movie, so that's a little distracting. The two girls are really good, the two kids in the movie. They do a pretty good job. The ending for me was sort of the biggest problem, which I won't reveal here. I'll tell you more about later, and I'll just say, hey, here's the spoiler part, so I won't spoil it. But that was sort of a problem with me. So that's the bad stuff. Oh, there's one other thing that really annoyed me. Okay, you need jump scares in your movie. Got it. Both the other Paranormal Activities, they had a few jump scares, just the boom, oh, it was just you, it was just her, it's not a ghost. And then, to build up for when the real jump scares come out. They do so many in this one, and some are good. Like, the first couple are good, and some of them do make you jump, but it's not scary, it's just a jump. And it's great watching with the audience, they go, whoa, they got me good. But it's not really scary, and they really sort of over-abuse it in the first half, and I know why, because I'm sure they're setting up more story. They probably had to set up a lot more story to this one, but people need to be scared, or else the ADD people are gonna go, huh? And run out. Now I'm gonna have ADD people complain at me anyway. I probably have ADD, so I'm not one to talk. But, anyway, so that's really abused. Okay, so that's the bad stuff. The good stuff is that they do try, again, some new scares, which I really like. The most ingenious thing in this movie, in my opinion, is they have these, the guy sets up these cameras, again, we've done this before, but this is smart. Well, first of all, it's a stepfather, so all the stuff going on in the house, you'd understand he'd be freaked out on it. Not the mother, because the mother has kids. She hears this stuff all the time. Kids walk around. Kids make noise. They get up in the middle of the night. Kids talk to imaginary friends. So this isn't new to her. So it's very smart to make it a stepfather who's suspicious about this and her not believe it. Though, again, we've seen that in the other films. The dumbass guy. These movies are anti-men, okay? I don't know if I'm a
Men of Mist or whatever the word is, but these are very anti-men movie. Have you ever noticed that? The men in these movies are jackasses. They're morons, they're jerks. You ever notice? I don't know. But anyway, they need someone to make the stupid mistakes and coax the ghost, you know, so... but the most ingenious thing I was getting to is that he sets up this camera using a fan, you know, it goes back and forth. That was very smart. But so you have this shot that very slowly moves to the left, very slowly moves to the right. And they use this shot a lot. And of course, you're going to set up some great scares with that, because as you're slowly moving to the left, you're looking around, what are you going to see? You know, something slowly revealed, and it slowly moves back, and then when it slowly moves the other way again, it's not going to be there. Or it's going to be closer. Or maybe something was set out of place. Or, you know, maybe the monster or the ghost is there, and it's very slowly being revealed. It's a great setup. It's really, really smart. And again, anytime it would lean back, you heard the audience go, "Ah!" They didn't know what they were going to see, so that was wonderful. Another good thing about it is that they are continuing the story with it, so it's sort of the backstory, and for the most part, it's good. And the girl speaking to the you know, the imaginary friend is very convincing. You know, she does a really good job. And the actual, when the scares, I think about halfway through the scares, when the real scares start happening, the sort of real, hey, this was meant to really scare you, they're good, and they're creative. And there's a lot of those scenes where the person's coaxing the ghost, like the girl's like, you know, oh, you're a baby, there's no imaginary friend, there's no Toby, is the name of this imaginary friend. Yeah, he's in there, and she goes, oh, really? Come on, Toby, I'm coming inside, and that's great for an audience, because everyone's going, no, shut up, but that's a little kid, so she's allowed to be stupid. The other, I don't know, but, alright, so, so the buildup of suspense is good, and a lot of the scares are very creative, and you don't always know where they're going. Something that's really odd. I don't know whether or not I like it. I think a lot of people, including myself, were disappointed how much they were revealing in the coming attraction. Not one clip from any of the commercials or the previews is in this movie. How friggin' weird is that? I've never seen that happen. There's always a clip or two that doesn't make it in a movie. This has none. None of the scene, the Bloody Mary, the girl jumping off the stairs, throwing the water, and something there. This doctor guy, who's not even in the movie or whatever, saying you have to get out, and his head slams into. None of that's in there. It's so weird. So I don't know what to think of that, because on the one hand, I'm glad all the scares weren't given away, but that's sort of the exact explanation of false advertising, isn't it? Not one clip was in the movie. So I don't know. I'm sort of torn about it, but so don't worry about that. Now, with all that said, I guess before I go into the spoiler territory, I'll just say that I did like the movie. The annoying parts really got annoying to me. I like it a little better than the first one. Actually, maybe about half as much as the first one. Add half to the first one, because, yeah, first one I could usually see the scares coming and stuff. This one, I couldn't see the scares as much when the halfway point hit, and I like that, and it did keep me on my toes. So it has that going for it, but they make the same dumb mistakes they do in the first one, so I really see it as a step backwards and a step forward. It's worth it for the steps forward, you know, because they're good scares. Alright, now I'm gonna head into spoiler territory. I'll just say I did not get the ending. I didn't really understand it, and I don't know if it's just build up for the next film, or if you're just supposed to get it, which is so strange because the other films were so exact in this is what happened, you know, and this is what's going on, and this one leaves this very kind of confusing ending. And what I did is I actually looked up Brad and Noah's reviews, which critics are never supposed to do. You know, you're not supposed to listen to other critics and stuff. That's what you gonna do, steal their opinion? So I know a lot of critics don't like to do that. I guess they feel it's gonna, like, influence their thought or something like that. It's like, I don't know, if you like something, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it, you know. It doesn't matter what other people think, but I digress. I was watching their reviews just to see if I missed something, and apparently, yeah, there's just a lot of things that are unexplained, and it's probably build up for, you know, number 4, which I'm very happy to see. I like these movies. But I think for an audience, they're going to feel really ripped off by them. And they're going to feel frustrated, and they're going to feel stupid. You know, because they're going to feel, did I miss something? Wait, because the other two, I mean, they carried into the next one, but they also, you know, they were self-explanatory, they were self-contained, and this one isn't. And that can be very frustrating for people. I'll admit, it was very frustrating for me. And it's a good climax, it's a good build-up, and good scary images. And I guess the ideas it's probably suggesting are kind of creepy, but you can't fully connect it to the other films yet. You're just sort of raising more questions, like, well, wait, well then how did this happen here? How did... It ends pretty much with, without giving away too much, I'll give away a little, the two little girls go with the grandma, who it's revealed is the bad guy, which is not a big shock. And they're pretty much agreeing to be possessed and become these demons, and they're very happy about it, and they're going to be with the ghosts and stuff like that. Well, what does that mean for the other films? What does that mean, you know? Did they totally repress it? Did they totally, you know, because they don't seem to be on board for, you know, giving up their kid or whatever, or mention it to anyone else or anything like that. They seem legitimately freaked out, you know, like a normal person would. So, you know, who didn't go through this weird shit. So that really, really bothered me, and I found it very distracting. Yeah, I know a lot of other people did too. They just sort of went, "What? That's it? What?" And it was a good climax. There was good scares and good build-up, and again, they're upping the creepy imagery, which I love, but it was no, you know, the delivery was not a full delivery. It was a half delivery, and I suppose watching both Noah and Brad, that they say is probably just build-up for the fourth one. Okay, I respect the other two movies because they could be self-contained as well. And there was nothing in here that directly said to be continued or another. It's not like Empire Strikes Back, where obviously there's going to be another one. So that bothered me greatly. But aside from that, it's, like I said, the first half, you just sit through. The first half plays very much to the audience. The first half very much wants the audience to go, ooh, and grab onto the boyfriends and go, ah, and then everybody laughs, and there's a lot of that. And I find that kind of tiring, but you need the atmosphere, you need the build-up. It's in the 80s, so everyone's like, what'd you think of the Teddy Ruxpin and stuff? It's very clever. I'm both delighted and disappointed they didn't actually make it move or come to life. I mean, it probably shows great restraint, because in reality that would have been too silly and that would have been going too far, but everybody wants to see it, come on. They do get some nice creepy shots of it though, and that's very smart. So, yeah, like I said, if I was to list these in order of my favorites, it'd probably be 2, 3, and 1. 2 being my favorite. So, yeah, that's about it for Paranormal Activity 3. Even though I thought the ending, if it is just build up for the fourth one, I think it could have been done better, but I look forward to a fourth one. I do like these movies, and I want to keep seeing them. I like that they can be made so quickly and with so little, and they use it to their advantage. Although it is interesting, when you look at the credits are about as long as any other movie, and you think, these are video cameras, and these are some computer effects, and there's like 5 people in the film. How does this fill up all these credits? So, probably a lot more work is put into it than I think, but it takes a lot of work to make a movie and everything. So, alright, I'm just rambling here. I did enjoy it. I had some problems with it, but I liked it, and if you don't like the Paranormal Activity films, this isn't gonna, you know, turn you. It's gonna be as boring or whatever you don't like about it in the other ones. But a lot of it is repeat, but when it did up the scares, it did it very cleverly and very effectively. So that's my final word. Take care.